It's your boy Joshua Monday coming live from the Scale Up Business Conference. And we're going to be doing a new series called The Art of Scaling Up. So I know if you've been watching my YouTube channel, and we've been talking about real estate, we talk a little bit about entrepreneurship, a lot about entrepreneurship, but I really want to dive into scaling up your business. So we're live from a conference that we do every year, and we bring entrepreneurs from all across the country in to really learn the information on how to scale their organizations. And we bring some of the most brilliant minds in the world to come and give them the information. And I have one of those brilliant minds with me. But before I introduce him, I need y'all to do three things. I need you to like, subscribe, make sure you share, comment if you have questions. But I would love for you to become a part of the Joshua Monday experience. And just like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more information. And actually also click that bell so you'll be alerted when we drop new content. But I have a special guest with me. He's an amazing entrepreneur. He scaled several businesses. He's done a lot, and I'll let him introduce himself. But he goes by the name of Robert Hartline, man. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been awesome.
Man, so I reached out to you because, well, first of all, I saw one of your ads
Yes.
on Instagram, and it made me think. I said, oh, man, he would be perfect for the ScaleUp Business Conference. And because, I know you from Absolute Wireless days. And so when your name came up, I feel like I haven't heard your name in a while. And then when I saw you, I was like, I have to have him because he has a really, really good story. So let's just start with your origin story. Where you're from, how did you get going in entrepreneurship, things of that nature.
Well, dude, thanks for having me on here. First off, I came here from Germany, and I learned about Nashville in a commercial in 1984 called "All Roads Lead to Nashville." I was at my grandmother's house watching MTV, and I saw that tourism commercial over and over and over. And when I asked my guidance counselor, a good school for music industry, Nashville. I came here, and man, I'm not a country music fan. I don't play guitar, so I didn't fit, right? I had to pivot, right? I answered an ad to cell phones door to door, and I learned that I could get good at this. I could talk to strangers. I'm an introvert, and I was not built that way, but I just worked at it, and started my business out of the trunk of my car in 1998.
Okay.
And,
Now, what business was that?
So I had a chain of wireless retail stores.
Okay.
Called Absolute Wireless, and we were originally a Nextel dealer and then a Sprint retailer, and that's really how I started the business. Really.
Now, what made you jump into that lane or that business? Like, I know you probably had like other ideas that you was pondering with, but how did you trip into like the wireless
I got so many
industry?
lessons for these folks.
Come on, let's go, man.
On this podcast, because I was not very intentional.
Okay.
Honestly. I answered an ad to sell door to door because they paid for training.
Okay.
So I learned to sell cell phones.
Wow.
And I stuck to it, but not out of like a love for cell phones or,
Right.
but it happened, and I learned that I could really connect with employees.
Okay.
And help them see what's possible. And I really enjoyed that. And that's how we started scaling, really.
Really?
It was through love, and I'm talking about that today. And fast forward, in about 2012, I read a book called Traction.
Okay.
Written by Gino Wickman, and it's a business operating system called Entrepreneurial Operating System. And I hired somebody to put the operating system in my business, and it totally transformed the business.
Really? So let's rewind just a little bit. So what made you really realize and say, I can open up more than just one store? So a lot of people would be comfortable. All right, I have this one app, this one wireless store. I'm doing pretty good. But what was that thing to say, you know what, I can probably open up 10 or 11 or 12? Like, what was that acceleration to like scale?
It was fear.
Okay.
First year, I had a spot on Trousdale and Harding Place.
Yep.
In fact, I was right down the street from the former Elvis Presley's racquetball courts. A lot of people don't know this. He had racquetball courts on Trousdale Drive. And one day I caught a rumor my landlord was going to sell to a hotel at that corner. I was like, oh my gosh, that's my business.
Yes.
You know, I got one business and I lose my lease. Now what? Mm-hmm. And that was the first moment I was like, well, I need a backup plan.
Okay.
And I looked at it like as a backup plan, but I was thinking so small. Yeah. At the time, I was thinking just, I was doing good. What I thought was good, you know? But it wasn't great, You're like, wow. And it took me a couple years to actually see what was possible. I joined EO, which is in Nashville. It stands for Entrepreneur Organization. Mm-hmm. They have 350 members here in Nashville. It's the largest EO membership chapter in the country, and around a lot of smart people that doing big things. And when you're rubbing shoulders with big people, guess what? You're going to have big opportunity because it's just going to rub right off. That energy it's just spread, Right.
So from the wireless company, what made you exit from that industry?
Well, that is a long story, but put it simply, I hitched my ride to a brand.
Okay.
And that brand was Sprint. And when T-Mobile acquired Sprint, what do you think they thought of me?
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing it 22 years.
Yeah.
And every single Sprint retailer were instantly put out of business overnight.
Wow.
We signed the new deal with T-Mobile. We were excited about T-Mobile. We were ecstatic about it because it was a strong brand, good network. And after the first month, 10 days in, I'm looking at my analytics, my scorecard, and I'm trending to lose $500,000 that month.
Wow.
Now that will wake you up.
Definitely.
It will wake you up.
Definitely.
And I hadn't heard anything from my team. I was really tight. I have great leaders doing all the work they needed to be successful. I got in my car in Tesla. I hit the button and said, navigate to Sprint Store 11 in Tennessee. Doesn't exist. I am not on the internet. I am gone. I am poof. Sayonara. Every location does not exist.
Wow.
Certainly I freak out, but I remembered something. A week before I were to sign the T-Mobile agreement, they called me on the phone and said, Robert, I need your access to your Google business pages. I said, you can go kiss my ass. I ain't giving that away. That is, I take care of those people when they give me a review. I'm like, dude, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry we didn't take care of you.
Yes.
I'm gonna take care with this issue. We want to show you love. Like I cared about my customers. Yeah. And so I got all those reviews. Yeah. I had 78 locations. I answered those reviews because they meant something to me because that was feedback. I ain't giving it to you. And so, Mr. Hartline, you're not going to get a contract. Man, I got a bunch of stores with a lease. Well, what am I going to do? If I can't sell T-Mobile, Sprint's gone away, what am I going to do? I can't pivot like that.
Right.
I got hundreds of people. So I signed it. I gave them the access. And I never got it back. Next month, I lost $400,000. Someone came up, offered me to buy the business at a fire sale.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. The message, I hope everybody hears this. Be careful who you're hitching your ride with.
Wow.
If you're gonna be a franchisee, you better believe in them. Mm-hmm. Be careful. You think of brands like Subway. They had a scandal with. Can you imagine? You had a bunch of Subways and this representatives in jail.
Right.
And everybody knew him. Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you do your own brand, you own it. You live and die by your own sword, not someone else's. So that's the lesson I hope I can share with others.
Better believe it. So what was that pivot? So it was like, okay, I have to close this down, fire sale. Like, now what's my next?
Oh, dude, it was a gift from God.
Okay.
Honestly. The best gifts are the biggest struggles.
Come on.
If you look at your life and you chart it from born, it's awesome.
Yeah.
lost a tooth, you know, I didn't get picked for baseball.
Yeah.
You know, I got held back in school, you know. But after every valley, we have a peak. You just got to be willing to go, God, thank you. Give me more.
Yep.
There's something on the other side. I know it feels scary, and everybody's going to feel scary. And it was for me for a whole year. I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? But the stuff I'm doing today is totally in alignment. I'm helping other entrepreneurial teams put EOS into motion.
Gotcha.
I mean, it scaled my business from 10 to 100 million in sales in less than 3 years. I was the fastest growing company 2 years in a row. And it wasn't because I was super bright. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a energy management system. It's just a recipe. If you want to eat a great cake, bake the recipe as it says, and you're going to have a great experience. And you're going to have a great business. And that's what I get to do for people.
And what's the name of that business?
So it's the Entrepreneurial Operating System.
Okay.
And it's called EOS, the book called Traction. I'm going to talk about it a bit today.
Yeah.
But really what I teach leaders to do at the end of the day is bring love to your team, your passions, your purpose. Mm-hmm. You show employees what their purpose is in the organization. Give them the deeper meaning of why we do what we do. And if they can connect the dots with their love, with that purpose, with a customer, and they can be in love in that experience, that customer's going to feel it. Yeah. The employee's going to want to be here. They may show up because you pay them, but you get them to show up because they love to be here, because the purpose they do. Then that's how God creates things.
Let's go. So let's leave with what is some advice that you would give to an entrepreneur that may have a business and they're looking to scale that business? Like, what would you say some of the steps that we would need to take to be able to do that? So how you did your stores from 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 or like, what is that process, and what is some of the advice that you would give to a emerging or already an entrepreneur?
Well, for one, really get in alignment with your vision. You know, whether you go on a retreat out into the woods in a tent and you spend 3 days just imagining your future, first we must create it in our minds.
Yeah. And
then we set it out to the universe. Surround yourself with high positive people that have walked this dance before you. Mm-hmm. Partner with them. Nashville is full of mentors. Yes. Just ask. Get meetings with people, ask people for coffee. Their story will inspire you.
Yes.
And you know, there are plenty of people willing to help. This is a place, Nashville. Understand, Nashville is where you become discovered. We got a tower out in Brentwood, WSM. It stood for We Shield Millions, and it was a AM radio station. It reached Canada. People came from all over walks to be heard and found here in Nashville.
Yes.
It's still true today. People are coming here to be something.
Yes, they are. Man, thank you so very much for your time. I really appreciate the advice and the wisdom. Make sure you all tap in with Robert Hartline. He's doing amazing things around this book called Traction, and really showing really how to bring the love into your organization, man. But make sure you all like, subscribe, comment. If you really love this episode, make sure you share it with somebody. Hit the alert button so you can be notified of all the amazing content that we'll be dropping. But this is Joshua Mundy, the Art of Scale, and live from the ScaleUp Business Conference. Let's go.